You can have the perfect manifestation routine. You can visualize every day, you can script before bed at night, but if you don't believe that you are truly worthy of what you are trying to bring in, you are probably going to end up blocking it or maybe getting it, but not being able to hold on to it. So what is up with that? Let's take a look. Hi, I'm Jenny. Welcome back to Everyday Projector. And today we're talking about self-worth and self-love. Now, when I'm recording this right now, it is February, which is the month of love. But regardless of when you are watching this, I want us to take a step back for a moment. I know all of you are out there on your journeys, you're on your manifestation journeys, you have gotten to a place in life where you have looked around and said, no, thank you. Not this, not anymore. Things are not the way you want them to be in your life. Maybe you are unsatisfied with your career. Maybe your personal life's a wreck. Maybe you've realized that you have spent your entire life repeating some really unhealthy cycles and habits that you want to break free from. You know that it's time to actually pursue change and transformation in your life, and you know that the world is waiting to open up to you with all of the possibilities that that could bring, a path to more fulfillment and happiness in life. But how do you get there? That's the key and the missing piece of that puzzle that a lot of people overlook when they are in this place and they are raring to go and they are devouring manifestation content. They forget about self-worth. Self-worth and self-love is the key missing element from a lot of people's manifestation journeys. You will hear from a lot of people that they tried and they just couldn't get anywhere with the changes they were trying to make and the things that they were trying to manifest until they figured this one piece out. I've been there, so I'm going to help give you some tips and explain to you exactly why you need to have a part of your day, a part of your journey, a part of your routine, whatever it is, where you can take a little bit of time to cultivate more self-worth and love and compassion for yourself before you are able to jump into all of the rest of the crazy, wonderful things that life has in store. So, why do we need to do it and how do we do it? Let's go. All right, so if you're into the manifestation thing, or if you're just trying to make some changes in your life that you want to see reflected in the environment around you through mindset work, you will probably know that we are not manifesting what we want. Anybody who thinks that that is how it happens, you just say, I want a new car, I want a boyfriend, and then it just pops into your existence. We know that that is not actually how it works. Regardless of how far you go into the belief system of the law of attraction, the law of vibration, all of the universal laws that really are just a complex way of saying that once you change your internal environment, your external environment also changes. And a lot of this has to do with the neural pathways that create as we do mindset work and the ways that those new changes in the way that we think and process things and see the world, it changes our basic state of being. It changes our default mode. It changes the things that we're looking for in life, so we're able to see things from a different perspective. And when you change your perspective, you see more opportunities, you see more positive, you see more roads opening instead of always focusing on the things that are not available to you, the things you don't have, the roads that aren't open. And a lot of the success that people experience when they manifest things is simply the fact that they have trained themselves to be open and aware that these possibilities are there for them to follow, and following them is what brings them the things that they desire. But what happens when you know what you want? You have a whole bunch of desires and things that you want to change in life. You want to get to a different place. You want your life to look different. But you're coming from a place where you are someone who has spent your entire life struggling with the concept of self-worth, with the belief that you are worthy of good things. Perhaps these were limiting beliefs and stories that you grew up with that were given to you, or unfortunately a part of your upbringing or some traumatic event in some way that basically programmed you to have a real blockage when it comes to the ability to love yourself, to truly value yourself and see your own self-worth, and also believe that what you want and need is as important as other people. Women especially, this is also something that is a part of our societal programming. Am I right? We are programmed from a young age to believe that we are the caretakers. We are the people who take care of the people in our lives. We are the martyrs. We sacrifice our needs and our wants to make sure that everyone else is happy. And when you really go through the process of living like this and having that belief system seep into your subconscious and sort of replace the baseline that you came into the world with, now that becomes your new operating system, where you believe that if there is a ladder of needs and importance in the world, you are down here at the bottom and everyone else is above you, your kids, your husband, your parents, your family, your church, your teachers, whoever it is. And when you start working on changing that relationship that you have to your own worth and your needs and the acceptance of the fact that your needs and desires are important too, that's when you can really start to actually make changes in your lifestyle, your habits, the way you think, the way you see the world, and the way that you show up for yourself. That will start to actually make a tangible difference. If you don't do that work and you don't believe at a core level that you're worthy of good things, that you're worthy of the changes that you want to make? What if you don't believe deep down that anyone is going to love you? What if you believe deep down that you're not worthy of love? Do you think that this dream, relationship, the one that you fantasize about your whole life, the big love that you've been waiting for, you could find someone who sees you as a diamond in the rough, but if you aren't in a place psychologically where you are open to accepting love, you're probably going to find ways to self-sabotage, even if this dream romance does fall in your lap. Are you going to be able to hold on to that relationship? Are you going to be able to accept the love that they're trying to give you? Once you've developed a strong foundation of self-worth, when you love who you are, you expect the rest of the world to treat you like you are someone worthy of love, right? That makes a huge difference when it comes to the boundaries that you're able to set for people and the way that you approach interactions with the world. You treat yourself like a higher value person, you are treated like a higher value person. Having self-love just makes you show up differently in the world. It just does. I went through a journey of trying to cultivate and grow my self-love and appreciation after my divorce. I had really felt like I'd lost myself in a lot of ways. And finally getting to a place after that where I was able to look at myself and say, you know what, this doesn't mean anything about your value, right? Your relationship ended. Okay, that doesn't mean that you're not still an awesome person, right? That doesn't mean that you don't still have tons to offer the world. That doesn't mean that you're not worthy of finding the right person who will love you the way that you deserve to be loved. People who don't have a great self-concept or a healthy amount of self-worth won't make those same conclusions. They might come to the conclusion, if their relationship ends, that they will never find someone again, that was their only chance, that they're not worthy of love, and so who is ever going to love them? It's probably never going to happen. Do you see how that mindset is so completely different? Imagine how that mindset affects the outcomes of people in those two situations who view it from the self-worth and self-love perspective and the lack of self-worth and self-love perspective. Can you see the different trajectories that those people are going to be going on in their healing journey, coming away from that, and the prospectus for their future, as they take their lives in these two different directions? It makes such a huge difference. And so the myriad of things that we do to hurt ourselves and sabotage our lives when we don't have a basis of love for ourselves or appreciation or respect for ourselves or self-worth, those things can have a huge effect on your quality of life. Are you not asking for raises because you don't have the confidence to say, I'm worth more than this, right? Are you not setting healthy boundaries with people, and are you allowing people to take advantage of you? Are you a people pleaser? Do you lose yourself in your need to make other people approve of you or validate you or make sure that you're keeping them happy so that you don't ever get on the other side of being treated the way that you feel inside, right? Like you don't matter and like you're nothing. And so you do everything you possibly can to make the other people happy so that that never gets reflected back onto you. Because if you weren't doing that, then that's how they would see you, right? You will settle for less because you don't believe that you deserve more. Another huge part of manifesting we've got the self-worth and self-love part of it, because you can't manifest something if you don't think that you deserve it. And then on the other half of that, there's these two parts here that I feel like are the foundation and the basis before you can go on to have a successful manifestation journey. One is the self-worth and the self-love. And the next part is your nervous system regulation. So many of us out here right now are living in nervous system dysfunction. We are not regulated. We are in functional freeze. We are overwhelmed. We are not taking care of ourselves. And when your nervous system does not feel safe and secure, when you are not in a rest and digest nervous system regulatory state, when you are in freeze, when you're in fight or flight, your nervous system says we are not safe now. And so it's actually shutting down different parts of your neural programming and your body in order to help protect you. And so you're not functioning on all levels here when you are in a dysregulated state. And when you don't feel safe, your capacity to accept good things and to actually walk into change that you will be able to succeed in is so greatly diminished. Your body is prepared to keep you safe when you are in nervous system dysregulation. Safe doesn't necessarily mean things that are good for you. If you have lived your entire life in a having this really harmful pattern and block when it comes to where you are comfortable staying financially, then your nervous system will see any change in that as a threat. It will not be comfortable changing. Even if you're moving on to a new job where you're supposed to be making a lot more money, your nervous system, if you're still in fight or flight or freeze, it's going to see that change as a threat. It's going to say, no, we need to stay exactly where we are. If we're staying exactly where we are, this is where we're safe. And so it's going to be extremely hard for you to get to that next step to change, even if you're pursuing positive change in your life, until you come back down to a state of regulation where you feel safe. That's when you can actually attempt change that is going to be successful. Otherwise, you're going to feel so overwhelmed, you are going to end up sabotaging yourself or rejecting that positive change so that you can go back to your base state, even if your base state is not somewhere that you want to be. You're stuck there. There are a lot of somatic techniques and regulatory techniques that you can find to help you work daily on balancing, bringing yourself into regulation in your nervous system, dealing with your functional freeze or fight or flight or whatever you're dealing with. And there are a lot of people who are qualified to work with you in these areas, especially if you are someone who is coming from a trauma background, who can help you with really, really good strategies to incorporate into your daily life to help get you to that level. Now, once you've done some work on your self-worth and come to a place where you're really starting to feel like, I actually love myself, I'm proud of myself, I feel like I'm a person who has value and I'm worthy of change and I'm worthy of making my life better and I'm worthy of the good things that are come from that. And you feel like you're safe to do that, like it's not a risk. Of course, change is always risky, change is always scary, but your body isn't going to freak out the second you try and make that leap. That's when you will be ready to actually start taking major action to change your life and to move up or to manifest whatever it is that you're trying to bring in, and to start doing really, really good mindset work to help you switch your focus and your perspective so that you can direct yourself in a new direction that will be much more easily attainable to you because of all of this work that we've done on the back end. So I know that you are asking, how do I cultivate more self-love? So self-love is not just a transitory feeling that you have once in a while. In order to cultivate self-love, it's a practice that you have to engage with repeatedly until you get to a place where you have really shifted your mindset and created these new neural pathways that now, when you think of yourself, instead of defaulting to things like shame or anger or patheticness or feeling hatred toward yourself, whatever you're starting with, now your new default mode will be, oh, Jenny, she's awesome. I love her. We want good things and we deserve good things and we should have all of the things that we want and we should be able to advocate for ourselves to get them, and we should have support too. This is the way that you're going to think once you've done a bunch of practice to help shift that. So one of the things I recommend is mirror work. Super easy to do. Sit in front of a mirror, look at yourself in your eyeballs, and start talking to yourself. Give yourself some positive affirmations. Tell yourself what you think that that person inside of you who doesn't love themselves needs to hear. Repeat this. Do it often until you start to say those things and the person who you see in your eyes on the other end actually starts to hear them and they start to sink in. It actually works. I make myself cry on a regular basis. When it comes to nervous system regulation, there are tons of YouTube resources and coaches and people and therapists who are trained in somatic healing and all of that stuff who could be very helpful for you. If you want to try some stuff on your own, I highly recommend EFT tapping, emotional freedom technique tapping. That's very helpful. I'm a huge fan of it. You can also look up breath work. You can start doing breath work, meditation, yoga, and just specific grounding practices, things like going outside, spending time in nature, getting your feet on the ground and your bare feet so that you can really ground into your body and be present and feel that connection to the earth. Journaling. Journaling can be a daily practice for you, where you sit down and you go through a bunch of prompts to help you really work through the reasons why your self-worth or your self-love has been suffering. Shadow work exercises can be very helpful. Here's some examples for you of prompts that you could start with. Is there an area in your life where you are holding back from asking for what you want? What is it and why? What would I do differently if I believed that I was fully worthy of everything that I want and worthy of good things in life? I have a blog post that should be out with a lot of extra prompts and helpful things for you. Acting as if is a great method of doing this. Decide, maybe script out a little bit of a day in your life. What would it be like? What would you do? What decisions would you make? What would you wear? What would you look like? What would you eat? How would you act? How would you behave if you were someone who had incredible self-love, love for yourself, respect for yourself, if you believed you were worthy of all of the good things in life? What would your day be like and how would it be different from what it is now? If you can sort of get a clear picture of what this is, you could try it out. Spend a day acting as if you were the version of yourself that has cultivated true self-love and self-worth, and see what it does. Maybe turn it into a lifestyle change. Maybe make some adjustments to the way you're living based on that to try to gently and slowly move you bit by bit toward this new version of yourself until it starts to feel so much more natural that all of a sudden you realize, oh, I am actually living like someone who has self-love and self-worth. Does that mean that I do? Do I? Am I? Maybe you'll realize that you have actually started to truly believe that those things are true. It's worth a try. And then there's things like reparenting work. This is the type of stuff that you could do with a therapist. Look up IFS, Internal Family Systems. There are a lot of coaches and therapists who are trained in this to help you. But basically, this is inner child healing. This is working with the parts of you that experienced trauma or maybe developed patterns or stories or limiting beliefs about yourself because of things that you experienced as a child or at hard points in your life. And basically going back to heal that part of you, to make sure that they know that it's okay. No matter what behaviors you developed or beliefs that you developed as a result of those things, thank it for being there to help protect you all of these years. But tell it you love it and you're ready for it to go. You don't need it anymore, actually. You don't need to keep yourself small. You don't need to keep yourself hidden so that no one sees you and so that no one values you. You don't have to be a people pleaser who spends their entire life dismissing their actual thoughts and feelings and needs to make everyone else happy. You can let those things go. And there's a whole process with reparenting and inner child healing to help with that. A lot of it is kind of guided meditation based. And as I said, there are a lot of people who could help you with that work. But you can also find books, find YouTube videos, find healers, people who can help you through that process as well. And finally, I just created a free resource for you all about self-love and self-worth. There are several parts of this free workbook. There is a morning routine and an evening routine. These are both routines that will help you cultivate self-love. It is a 5 to 10 minute morning routine and a 5 to 10 minute evening routine. There is a daily journaling page where you can reprint it as many times or write over it as many times as you want, with a couple different prompts for you to work with during the day with some journaling exercises. And then there is a 7-day self-love challenge. I would love for you to grab your free self-love rituals and practices guide below. I also recorded a self-love guided meditation with some affirmations that are really going to help you cultivate that self-love and self-worth. You can make it a part of one of your daily routines in the morning or in the evening, and it's really going to put you in an incredible mindset to go about your day feeling really full of wonderful, juicy self-love. And yeah, I had a lot of fun creating that meditation. It's free. It comes along with the guide. So again, you can get those down below in the description box. If this resonated with you, if you like this content, be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. I will be back with more stuff like this again soon. Thank you so much for listening, and I would love to hear in the comments below, what are your practices to help you cultivate more self-love, to remind yourself of how truly special and magnificent and wonderful you are. I would love to hear how you go about that. If you have any recommendations for me or anyone else watching, please leave them below. All right, I'm Jenny. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye.